What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Not Safe for Work podcast, where you'll definitely get fired if you put the shit on speaker. So please do not do that. We have our new member of the Dad Bod, and the list of requirements that you need to enter this stuff is very, very big. So Drew, thank you for hitting every single benchmark that we set out. No, I'm just kidding, but Drew has some good points, and he's a fellow dad, so we're glad to have him on. But dude, welcome. Sean couldn't make it today, so we'll probably hit him up next time and give him some gripe about it. But I think I was late to some of it. So anyway, let's get back into it. So today I kind of want to talk about the market stuff. Like we're going through like massive dips and stuff like that. We're going to end off on a light note, but just to cap it off, just to like top it off and start this thing, right? I remember talking to I won't say who, but one of my compatriots in one of the podcasts I did a while ago, where we talked about like specifically Palantir. Palantir took a big dip, and I know like my other YouTube channels is a Palantir YouTube channel, and it took a pretty big dip, and like we're all sort of like reeling from that. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like I remember back then we were talking about how it might have bottomed out at 11 or 12 or whatever. Hey Jordy, what's going on? It might have bottomed out at 11 or 12, or I think it was like 14 at the time, right? And the whole time, like if those of you guys who are watching, what's up, Radu? Those of you guys who were like watching my stuff from before, I remember like people were in the comments like, hey, dude, like how come you're not buying? And part of the reason is because I had a massive tax bill and all that stuff. That's done, but I still didn't buy. Like I paid that off a month ago, but I still wasn't buying because I just didn't feel right, man. Like something didn't feel right. I feel like when I went to the grocery store, it felt like everything was so much more expensive. I mean, like I got kids, right? Like hence the dad bod stuff, but we got kids and it's like everything was expensive. Baby formula, forget being expensive, it was hard to get, first of all, right? Diapers too. It's like we were on that Amazon, you know when you can like deliver it every 2 weeks or whatever, like the scheduled stuff. We were on that, and even that wasn't like it wasn't working, man. It was like I don't know, like there's definitely clear problems and macro problems that are affecting the stock market. I think it's finally caught up to it. Palantir, maybe we'll give it a little bit of a take. But what are your thoughts on like the market so far and like what's going on?
No, I mean, so far this past week was terrible. It's like it seems like
Brutal.
It's recovering. It seems like it's recovering today and a little bit of yesterday. I know Palantir is sitting at like $8 or so.
Yeah.
So I know I've been doing small little calls to try to get it up. And yesterday I was putting calls in, and it's like, I got flagged as a day trader because I was just taking as much as I can. Yeah. So I'm kind of stuck in the position. So hopefully it keeps going up, but I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure if it's a dead cat bounce or if next week it's just going to be red again, but I'm like cautiously optimistic. I know I bought a little bit of the dip this week when it was in the sixes, but everything's just going down. And things are hard to get too. I know I work in powder coating, and so some of the things that we've been trying to get, it takes weeks and weeks and weeks to get. There's one powder specifically. It's like it's in Texas, so all the freeze out happened, and that messed everything up. And then you're just waiting, and it seems like things are starting to catch up. Sorry for the shaky camera, but it seems like things are catching up. But I think we'll have to see.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. I think, to be honest, this is a long time coming. It's like this all the time, even with COVID, right? COVID dipped like crazy in March and April, I think it was. But the real sort of like lull was all throughout like the end of 2020, 2021, where it was kind of like it was finally catching up and then started dropping again and correcting. Yeah. So I feel like this is a long time coming. But it's interesting you said like option calls, dude. Like I need to start learning options, man. That's one of those things where like I was always scared to do it. But in the past like few years, I've come across like good fortune, really, really good fortune in terms of like a financial sort of stability. So for me, it's like I really gotta use that form of leverage too. I'm using all sorts of other shit, like getting margins and all this other stuff. So I definitely got to jump on that. But honestly, this is what I mean. Long time coming, guys. Like I'm talking about, like for me, I had a kid throughout this whole thing. So we had 2 COVID babies, and I remember like going to the mall, not the mall. Everything was closed down, but going into the stores and stuff, it was like whatever you bought, they say, okay, only 8% is what it is, right? The report came out that it was only 8.3% or whatever. But the reality of it is it's more than that, right? Like housing inflated more than that. Baby formula, when I first started buying baby formula, it was like, I think like $55 or something. Okay. Now it's like $65 within a year. Yeah. Right? It's like, where does that all come from? And on top of that, you can't find it. So that combined with, actually, funny enough, like right before this, remember I was like, I was on the road or whatever. I was buying a little gazebo, okay, for the backyard. weather's great. We got to enjoy the weather. But even that, so before, 2-3 years ago, when you want to get like any sort of goods, right, you would have like a whole bunch of options or whatever the case is. Today, I had to call Walmart and literally like fight a lady to make sure I got the gazebo over someone else. And it's like a cheap one. It's not even something that's super expensive or in demand or anything like that. So I almost kind of felt like that toilet paper lady in Australia. Have you seen that one? I just want one roll. I just want one. No. They're like fighting over a roll of toilet paper. I'm like, oh my God.
I know where I'm at.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know where I'm at. It seems like everything's starting to ease up. The biggest thing has been trying to get people to like employment's been super weird. Like people will like work and then we'll hire a guy and they'll leave the next day and then they just don't show up, or they'll come in for an interview and
oh, you mean like the employee side? The employee side is like, oh shit, no way.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
like just getting employees is hard, and getting people to stay.
Dude, that's actually, I think that's a little bit messed up because where I am, so I'm in Toronto, right? Over here, it's hard to find jobs. Okay, it's not like the jobs aren't there. They're there, but the competition is insane. And I'm in tech, right? So for me, it's like, so I just got off a call with, so yesterday I went to an event with like a bunch of, managers and stuff like that for like tech accounts and stuff like that. They basically hire people. They're like the hiring staff and all this. But they're saying like, look, listen, if you are in a good job or what, like I'm a consultant, so I work on a contract basis, right? So basically whenever the contract comes to an end, if they don't renew, I'm basically out of a job. And my sources are literally telling me, if you don't have something lined up, and even if you do have something lined up, get it and stick with it, because they're anticipating a massive like hiring freeze actually. So I work for one of like the largest like brokers in the US, and these guys are like canceling projects, and they're not exactly, they're shelving them, right? But you know what that means. It usually doesn't come back and all this shit. So they're shelving these projects. They're saying, okay, whoever we have, find the good ones and chop the rest. My entire team, this is one of the reasons why I haven't posted on my channel, right? Like my entire team got fired. So, and it's like and not fired, but they got let go before their contract finished. So the company might pay a little bit of a price for it, but for them, they're like, okay, we're bolstering our side. We're shoring up for whatever's coming. And I work directly in the financial side of it. So it's like, it's a little bit scary, right? And then on the other contract I have, they're actually directly involved with supply chain. So part of it's a grocer. And it's like, dude, like the amount of stuff that we have to do, the projects that are coming up are like streamlined too, right? So it's, I feel bad for the folks that are looking. So that's why I tweeted out a few days ago. It's like, if you have a job right now, try to just like, reach out to your managers and just play pally, man. Like don't start telling people you hate your job. It might just be like these rough times are the times that screws us the most, I think, So I don't know, but it's interesting that you're saying like on the employee side, the people are not showing up and stuff. It's like such a weird dichotomy, right?
Yeah, no, it's like you try to get someone in. Like we've had like everywhere in my area. Like I went to, like me and my wife and I guess my whole family, we were on vacation, got in a car accident. So I had to bring the SUV in, and
are you guys all right?
they're like, we're fine. It was just like a little fender bender.
Okay.
But they took it to the place to get assessed, and like, oh yeah, it'll be until August. And I was like, geez, that's a long time. But they're like, yeah, we're trying to get people to, work and text, and it's just hard to find people.
Shit,
and so there's just crazy. Like no people. So I don't know if maybe they moved or what's going on, but at least in my area, it's really hard to get people to even show up.
Okay, so maybe it's like a sector thing, right? Maybe it's like because because in the tech sector, it's between 2021. End of 2020 and 2021 was like massive hiring spree. People were like, I had people on my team that haven't done anything for 6 months. Like they were literally just twiddling their thumbs, right? So, I mean, it's unfortunate because they got let go, but at least they got paid for 6 months for doing nothing, right? So I know what you mean. It might be a sector-based thing, but it's so weird that it's like so like haywire, right? In this way.
It's crazy. It just seems unbalanced.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I think like I wasn't buying anything. I mean, right now everything's cheap right now. I feel like maybe I'll regret it if I don't buy. I do have some money put aside, but I don't know, man. I just don't feel right yet. Like it's if Tesla can post something that's something like such a big quarter, right? And it goes down. It went up for a bit, but it went down like what 15% or something since the recent highs after the quarter. That's messed up, man. Like Tesla's a cash flow generating like behemoth. So if that company can go down like that, and even Google and all these, like Amazon especially too, and Facebook took a massive shit. But if these companies who are so shielded from all this like market garbage can take such a big hit. I really feel like there's more hurt coming.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping that this is the bottom, but I don't see any catalysts to like level everything out other than maybe inflation numbers next month go down, or maybe a jobs report says more people are employed, or I don't know. I don't
I
know.
know the jobs report is, I think, more mimicking like what you're talking about versus like what I'm talking about. So I might just be talking about a smaller group. But yeah, I think the Fed increased, or the Fed was talking about, or they did go up 0.5, I think it was, right? Which is, I think people saw that coming. So I don't know. I feel like the market is like a trailing indicator. I know people say it's like a forward looking, but I really do feel like it's a little bit backwards. Like the stuff we're going through now is like the thralls of what happened maybe in like November to Jan or something. You know what I mean? I just feel that way. So that's why I feel like whatever's happening now, we won't see the effect of it till like 2-3 months from now in the summer, perhaps, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, for sure.
yeah. By the way, dude. Oh, you say you work in powder coating, right? Off topic.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you powder coat wheels?
Uh, we did for a while, and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
just don't have margin to be able to do it.
So okay. So you like industrial powder coating?
Yep. So most of the
Okay.
stuff we do is for conveyor belt companies. So funny enough,
Uh,
we actually paint stuff for Intel.
oh no way. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So they have this weird textured paint. It's like a cream, but it's we do a lot of stuff for them.
Oh really?
Indirectly, of course, but yes.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah. The
Yeah.
first time I ever did powder coating was on like a set of wheels and totally looked like shit. But I was like, yeah, I did that. I did that.
Yeah,
I put it on my car.
It's a
Yeah.
lot
So,
different when you do it yourself.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I had to rent someone's oven, and it was like
Yeah.
I forgot that I had to tell him the temperature that I had to put it at, so he just kind of like winged it, and I ended up looking all pasty and stuff. Never do it
Yeah.
again. See, back to my broke days, man. I was so broke. I was like, I'll just do everything myself.
Were you like clapping at your car or something like that, putting wheels on it, or?
Yeah. I was trying to like, when I was young and single, I'm like, man, this is definitely gonna get the ladies, right? So
Yeah.
didn't work.
Yeah. Drop your Corolla to the ground.
Yeah, that's right. I'm scraping all the way to the grocery store, man.
Do you like the Bozuku pipes in the back?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Yeah, car stuff is like, it's funny because so I was telling Sean before this, right? I was like, man, I wanted to buy like a car that I wanted. So it's a GTR. I wanted to buy a GTR this year.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, man, I can't buy it because like I'm not gonna miss this opportunity that's happening with the market right now. So instead of buying one, I'm just gonna build it. So like we have a 335. So I'm just gonna full bolt-ons, full send, YOLO.
Yep. You start drifting it.
Dude, yeah. Oh man, funny story about drifting. Okay, so I live in in Canada, right? So it's snowy. So I took the car out, and it's a really dangerous car in the winter. Like we don't drive it in the winter, right? So I'm like, you know what? It's not gonna be so bad. So I'm gonna try this, right? I'm gonna go out there and try drifting this thing. So I live in a court, so I'm like, let me just try this. I gave throttle a little bit, and I almost went into my neighbor's car. My neighbor, if you're watching, I know you're not, but I was at your car, man.
Yeah, that's
man,
funny.
Yeah, it's definitely. I got to move out of here, man. I can't deal with the snow. But anyway, like, dude, are you a long Palantir at all? Just wondering. I know you are, right?
Pass it toward puts. They're down. They're not doing so good. I got them at $10.
Oh shit!
But I got paid. I got paid to do it. And then I have about 515 shares. So I'm not huge, but it's like over half of my portfolio is in Palantir.
Oh, whatever. What's huge? It's all relative, right? It's relative to like when you're buying. So it's fine. Like, I'm sitting at around like 3,500 shares, but it's like mixed up between like 3 or 4 accounts. One of them is a trading account, so I do trade in and out of it. But that has about like 500 to 700 shares, I think it is. That's why I'm like, instead of trading up and down, I'm just gonna do margins, I think. But like I know some of there's gonna be some overlap between Palantir folks, and I didn't get a chance to do this in my channel, so I'll just say it here. Like the main reason, I think, like pretty much, I'm just gonna say pretty much just me and Sean have been beating this drum. Maybe you, Drew, I don't know, but the main problem we thought, or at least I thought with Palantir, was like the product was pretty mature, but it just needed sales. And I'm not blaming the sales guys, but what's happening, I think, is like if the product maturity is high, but they're not able to like finish the sales cycles, and especially because the product is so big, it's not going to sell. And this kind of market pressure right now is exactly the time when these kind of companies take a big shit, right? Because at the end of the day, they look at how these companies are nickel and diming them, like their clients, and AWS and stuff will do a good job because they have so many different services they can sell. Whereas Palantir is like, oh, we have a full platform, but you have to buy the whole thing. You have to split it up. And I know Alex Karp is talking about splitting it up and all this stuff, but the real problem is like talking about it and doing it are two different things. And realistically, like it's such a strong engineering company. Sorry, Drew, I'll get your take on this in a second. But it's such a strong like engineering company where, and this is the worst part that can happen. And I was really hoping that this wouldn't happen. But if if the engineering team is trying to lead the sales team, you're screwed, dude. Like that's it. Like you can't. You know what I mean? Because like engineers are good at what they do, but they need to just let the sales guys do what they do.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. And it's I almost thinking that Palantir needs to figure out how to scale or Apollo and just send it out.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that's their modularization product, that they just do that and then connect it with AWS and then a bunch of other services. But it is hard to sell an entire team or entire house when you just need a room. So
yeah, I know what you mean. Did you catch? By the way, did you catch what Ark Invest was talking about? There were a few things. So Kathy releases that his monthly report or whatever, and then Brett Winton went on. I think it was MSNBC, and they were talking about it. And dude, do you know that Kathy Wood and Ark Invest bought GM stock?
Yeah, I saw that. I was really surprised.
I hold Arcade, man. I'm scratching my head a little bit right now. So I don't know, Kathy. I don't know, man. Like I understand. I understand that GM could be an exposure to autonomous because they do have that in San Francisco, right? They have the crews running around and all this. But if they're because here's my problem with them. Let me know what you think about this, right? Every time anyone asks Kathy Wood or anybody from Ark, they're always like, "Oh, we're looking at a 5-year time horizon." And by the way, like for those of you guys who are watching, I literally am always critical of Kathy and Alex Karp and all these guys. I don't sit there and act like they're like gods or whatever. So it's important to do that because if we're investing money with these people, like we need to see them under every single light, not just like the godly light. But anyway, so he was like, "Oh, 5-year time horizon." My problem, and let me get your take on this, is if it's when does that 5-year time horizon stop? Like if I ask him next year, he's going to say 5-year time horizon. What about 2 years from now? 5-year time. Okay, fine. But like when is
the football?
Yeah, it's ended up like right. It ends up like nuclear fusion. It's like a problem that's 30 years away. That's always 30 years away, right? So I don't know what your take on that is. I feel like they're just deflecting, to be honest.
Yeah, it does seem like the GM. It's interesting because I bought the stock and then got out of it. I think last year I bought some and I was like, man, this thing's gonna go up. I really like their trucks, what they're doing with the government, and the government's pretty much doing a bunch of deals, and all their whole fleet's going to be GM or Ford. But the biggest thing is like how many times has GM gone bankrupt? How many times has it been mismanaged? And the only thing with Ford, I don't think they've gone bankrupt before. However, there's so much debt, and they have they have to basically have to do what Tesla did. They have to build specific factories to be optimized, and they have to scale. It's a big ship to turn.
Yeah,
it's a big ship to turn, and you're like there's people like will die hard. Like most of the people I work with are like, I will never own an electric vehicle ever.
Oh, ever. Really? Okay.
Yeah. I really want the Cybertruck, but
I have an order.
They're like $50,000. But I mean, I don't see why would you buy GM an innovative fund unless you think it's going to at least 2x or 3x in 5 years. But even then, it's not. I don't think it's the basis of innovative. I wouldn't say that's an innovative company. I would say they're about to change all their shit. But
yeah, I know. Maybe they'll spin off Cruise or something, and maybe that's the play. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Out of all of them, I don't know why GM. Maybe because yeah, right. Like maybe because they're siding with the government or something. Maybe they have some support there. That could be the reason why.
I think Biden was basically propped up GM and said GM was like the leader, which is ridiculous.
They led the way.
Maybe they're doing something that we don't know, and Kathy has the inside scoop, but I doubt it. I don't think we know. Like I forget where I heard it, but we don't know. We know more now, day to day, on the internet than people know. Like back 50 years, like when Warren Buffett had to research, he sent private investigators.
Yeah.
They would send out, they would dig up the stuff and do the reports. And now it's like, everybody has that access. Everybody's digging up anything and just putting it on the internet for free.
Yeah. No, you know what though? Like the one thing that does bug me about Kathy and our team, and like, maybe we'll just cap off their point like this, but the one thing that bugs me about those guys is in the beginning when they were like, oh, good job, Kathy, and all the stuff, you had all the praise, right? They were humble about it. They're like, oh, hey, thank you. We based everything on research. That's nice. But now when their feet are really up against the coals, right? They're deflecting. It feels like it is, right? It's like, for example, Kathy's like, oh, we were wrong about oil, but it'll go back. It's like, okay, where's your basis on that? She's saying everything's in research, but it could be good if they actually present some of those points during when they speak, right? It's not just like, because a lot of times they're like, oh, just go read our research. It's open source. Fantastic, lady. But like, not everybody has time to do that. So why don't you just give us a few points? Now, I've actually gone through some of it and I understand what she's saying. It makes sense. Like the problem with the market is you can always cherry pick, information, right? Like if we look at it now, everything's down. So we're like, oh, of course it was like this. Like, for example, Michael Berry's on the bottom over here, but he really called this out. And the stuff that he was talking about, not everything came true, but he did call out the bottom, and it is coming, or not the bottom, but the dip, and it is coming now in full force. Actually, it's funny. He started shorting Tesla when it was at like a 740 or something, and it went up like crazy. And I think he had to cover it. But it's funny because it's back to where it was when he was starting to short it. So I don't know. These guys, he might be a broken clock, but he's right this one time. It looks like, right. So. Yeah. When it comes back to Kathy, I really think they just have to stop deflecting. I mean, like I know that most people say she's just a marketing tool, and my gripe with her is like, how in God's name would you sell something like Palantir and buy like fucking GM? What the fuck, GM?
Yeah, or Roku?
Roku, dude. I don't even understand Roku. It's like and I know a lot of people are high on Zoom, and I get it. Zoom is great, but I'm telling you from a corporate world where we use Zoom all the time, is not that great. It's just okay, right? Like there's. Another one of my compatriots is like really high on Zoom, and I get it, but at the end of the day, it's a video chat. Like I know they have other tool sets that come with it, but what is the grand majority of people that are going to use it, right? So that's why I feel like Kathy, I don't know, like other than Tesla and maybe a few others, I really thought that Palantir would stick up there, but it seems like she's like faltering right now. So I don't know, man. You don't hold any ARC, right?
I don't. I did last year. I think it was I think it was like September or October. I was like, why am I holding these mutual funds? So I had a bunch of mutual funds. I had ARC, and it was doing really well. I think I made like 50% on it, and I was like, man, this is good. Time to sell. So I sold. I'm glad I sold when I did. I think it was, I don't know, it was going down, but I was like, I want to be able to actively manage, be able to put it in companies like Palantir, like MP Materials, Tattoo Chef, companies like that I really believe in and I could kind of take care of. And doing like options, I can sell calls against it and get some extra money. So I would rather do that than hold a mutual fund or an ETF.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. It's pretty much operates the same way. By the way, Vance does make a good point, dude. Are you growing that out, the stash? You said your wife.
No, I'm cutting it. Cutting it once I get home.
You're gonna be the dog help with the wife.
Yeah, all my coworkers are like, "Why do you have a mustache?" And it's like, I'm a man of industry.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you have a mustache?
Yeah, well, you're in industry. Come on,
dude. It's funny. I tried to grow one for a friend of mine's wedding, like 2 years ago, and man, I look terrible. I look really bad. Like you would
they
think
always look bad.
It's like you think you're gonna pull out like a I don't know, what's a really famous like mustache, but you think you're gonna pull out like one of those really cool like handlebar mustaches, Tom Selleck, that you could put but it never ends up working like that. You end up looking like I don't know. For me, I look like like I just ran across the border or something.
No, you always see you're walking down the street, if you see moms holding their kids a little closer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when I did that, I got into doghouse, so I cut that immediately after that with the wife. But anyway, I think I don't know, man. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen with the market going forward? I feel like at least I think we're going to hit bottom around, what are we in, May now? Just based on everything how it goes, I feel like because summer months are pretty heavy for spending. I think everyone's going to go out and do stuff, vacations, barbecue season, all this stuff, right? Meat especially has gone up too. So people haven't really realized. And actually, I want to touch on that point where you talked about how your coworkers would never buy electric or whatever. We'll touch on that quick, and then right at the end we'll talk about Johnny Depp. Captain Jack Sparrow and Amber Heard, freaking, oh my God, what a situation. But anyway, so I think we're gonna hit bottom maybe July. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it July, and then that's when I'll probably look into some options. I have a few months to look into options, and then I'll probably load up a little bit. I'm gonna go with the same strategy I have. I'm gonna put up mostly in Tesla, some in Palantir. I'm not gonna buy any more ARK. I think I'm gonna take a wait and see approach there. It's not a big position that I have. It's really, really small actually. I only have maybe 67,000 in it, but yeah. So yeah, so that's what I'll do. What are your takes, man?
I don't. I'm hopefully optimistic. I mean, I'm hoping that the last couple of days were the bottom. Because it was supposed to be 8.1 and it was 8.3 is what they had. And it seems like everything's going down and down. With rents too, like it's starting to cool off, and so I know me and my wife tried to buy a house, and then we locked in a rate at like 3.25%, and then time went past. The build kept being pushed back, and now it's like 4.25. They were able to work with me, but if you were to go out and do that today, it's like 5%.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
I'm thinking like everything's starting to cool down, so I think everything's starting to normalize. But I'm really hoping that now is the bottom, but I guess we'll see, right?
Yeah, I know it's true. No one really knows at the end of the day. But housing is dude. We have to do a pod on housing. I think I got in at a good time, but yeah, we'll definitely do that. Sean's pretty much the in-house expert on housing stuff, so we'll do on that. But yeah, right. Real estate bodman. But yeah, okay. So let's start off with like a lighter note. So you said your wife is following this Amber Heard situation, right? What? Okay, so very close. She goes to the hearings and stuff. But for me, no way, really. Are you guys close to it or something?
I know it's in Alexandria. We live in Virginia, so it's like 3-4 hours. But she hasn't gone to it. She's just been watching it.
That's crazy. But yeah, I think like it's so weird that I don't know, man. Like, who takes a shit in someone's bed? You know?
I don't know.
I think you said that first, and I was like, I thought about it. I'm like, that's true. Like, unless you're into that, I think it's called like it's like German style shit. I googled it. Okay, don't ask, but
I don't know.
Unless you're into some kinky shit.
Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah.
I always get cautious when my wife is like, "Oh yeah, our daughter's watching Blippi." I was like,
okay. Yeah. Let's find her something else. Maybe Coco Melon or something. You know, something more.
Maybe Coco Melon or Daniel the Tiger or something like that.
Yeah. Oh man, God, I think this it's funny because if we didn't go through such a market turn with this whole dip and stuff, this whole Jack Sparrow and Amber Heard situation would be like at the top of the list. It would be so high up there because there's so much. Like, did you hear the one where the lawyer was like, "Oh, you know, if our client didn't like actually abuse your client, then like she wouldn't be accused of, you know, he literally it's her lawyer, and he literally came out and said that she did it." You read that?
Yeah, the implicator.
What are these guys make like 8, 10, 15 times what we make, and it's like, how the fuck do you guys get this job? You like literally sit there and like, you know, throw your own client under the bus. Oh man.
I guess at some point there's like no defending shitting in someone.
The lawyers secretly trying to tell us like, I don't want this case anymore. Please just lock her up.
I'm done with this, but I'm done with this case. Take it off.
The funniest is, have you seen that video where she's like making that face that we have up here? And then like the camera goes away and she's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You see that?
I think there was the one. No, I didn't. I saw the one where she said her dog was stung by a bee. Yeah. And then everyone on TikTok was making fun of her. Without my glasses, I can't see.
The internet is undefeated, man. The memes will kill you, I think. So.
Oh man.
Oh jeez. But you know what sucks, man? I feel like it sucks that I mean, I can't believe that another Pirates was even going to be made or whatever. But it sucks that Jack Sparrow's like cut out of it. I think that franchise is dead without like Jack. Come on, he literally made that. I
think it was dead. I think it was already dead.
Yeah, I think they're trying to reel in like more kids or whatever. But
yeah.
I think the first movie was great. I like the third one, and whichever one was the one with Salazar. That one is great. Outside of that, I haven't watched any of them.
I think I have to watch the one where they like were on a pirate ship in the middle of a sand, and then it
Yeah,
was
that's
like
the
some
third one. Yeah,
alternate reality or something. I think it was the last one I watched. It
yeah,
wasn't that great.
that was the one with the Flying Dutchman. Flying
Yes,
Dutchman.
yes,
I don't know, man. That's a cool series. Jack Sparrow is one of the people in the movies that are like Johnny Depp was literally made to play that character. He fit that shit so
yeah,
well.
yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Amber Heard getting cut out of Aquaman isn't exactly news, I don't think.
No.
But I think her best movie was. Have you seen that movie? Shit, I can't remember the name now. But it's a movie where it's like it's like a fake family. Okay, I think it's a Kevin Costner or something. It's a fake family. They're all like they work for like a marketing company, and
Yeah.
they go into this neighborhood and they buy all sorts of like fancy shit. And it's basically I think it's called Keeping Up with the Joneses. I think it's called Keeping Up with the Jones.
Yeah, I don't think I ever
Or
saw
the
it.
Joneses.
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't have a chance, watch it. Right, Amber Heard's in it. She's like really young or something in it. That was her best movie, I think. But yeah, so it's like it's really interesting. Watch it. It's like a family that pretends to be this like super rich like upper class family, right? And it's funny because this has like tones where like if you're people always think of rich people have it good or whatever. I'm sure that they have their own problems. This movie points out some of those. Okay, where so these guys basically are a family, right? And they buy all sorts of fancy stuff and they make their neighbors jealous. And these guys come up to them and they're like, "Hey man, where'd you get that new Porsche? Oh no, where'd you get this and that?" And they tell them where it is. And they work for a company that works for the people that sold them that. Do you know what I mean? It's so messed
Yeah,
up, man. And
it is messed up.
it's got I won't ruin it for you. You got to watch it. It's a pretty good movie, but it's got like a sort of like a grim ending. But
Mm.
yeah, it's one of those things where like consumerism is nice and everything, but it can really take you into the take you to the graveyard if you're not too lucky, right, or not too careful, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. That reminds me of I got a RX-8 a couple years back,
okay,
and it was
RX-8.
like RX-8.
You,
One
my
of the
friend, are living on the edge, bro. What the?
it was literally it was the best car I ever had, but it was the best
No,
car
come on,
ever.
no way, really, no problem.
Yes, yes, no problem. Well, uh, it caught on fire. It caught on fire. No, it was
I spilled
literally
my
the
drink.
best car ever. Like literally, I had stripped the cat out of it, so it was like spitting flames and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I got into a really bad car accident, so it literally
Oh,
caught fire.
on the accident.
Yes,
Okay, my bad.
yes.
I was laughing because I thought you were just driving and it caught fire.
No, 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 no,
Okay.
no. It's literally the best car ever. And I joke with my wife, if I get to a certain salary level, then
Yeah.
I could buy an RX-8. But it's like cars, even like your consumerism, you just keep buying and buying and buying, and you can always put more on, change it, do this. But yeah, you can always eventually fill up your car with a bunch of shit,
Yeah, yeah.
in your house with a bunch of shit, and you're just stuck. You're
No, true.
stuck.
Actually, it's funny. I almost got an RX-8 a while ago when it was like you remember when like
You
all
should.
RX-8s were going through that transmission problem or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
almost got one for like $6,000, and this was like 10 years ago. That would have been so good, man. But I didn't because I was like, I'm not sure if I can. This was during my crappy powder coating era, so you know why I didn't get it. I was like, I can't afford the car to be a brick, But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, it's a lot of upkeep, a lot of maintenance. Got to
yeah,
keep that spinning Dorito going.
yeah, man. Did you
Yeah.
turbo it at the time or?
No, no, it's a lot. You got to do like $10,000 worth of work to do that.
Really?
Yeah, there's a top mount or a bottom mount, so you could either put
Yeah.
the turbo where you can see it, but really you're better off just changing it to the REW motor because
Okay. Okay.
because it changed the rotary a little bit, so the exhaust going out of the housings is
Yeah.
going out of the irons,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's really hot.
Yeah, yeah. No wonder you get the flames and all that. Man, the rotaries are the best for flames, man. You can drive that thing hard too. So
Yes.
oh god, I miss cars, man. I miss it. Like I have a Jetta that's standard. So for me, it's like that's the best I got. It's funny because this was a constellation. I had a. Do you know what a VR6 is?
I don't.
Yeah, it was like Volkswagen's version of a V6, but it was like V6 in an inline block. So it was like
they're a
one,
little
two,
off center.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounded like a freaking like a Wookiee, man. It was sounded amazing. But I
Bet.
pushed the crap out of it. I got to like I think like maybe I was pushing around 450 to the wheels. It was really dangerous. Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
really do much else to it except for the motor work. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I got into an accident, and then the write off was like, obviously I didn't get the money back, right?
Nothing.
But I got
Yeah.
this. I got this new Jetta, so it keeps me going. It's good on gas, but it sucks for driving. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's manual. It's 5 speed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I have a CX or a CX5
Okay,
SUV. So very
yeah,
different
dad
than
life, man. That's the dad life. I know.
oh
I
yeah.
have an SUV too, but the one thing
Yeah.
is, I did pick up a 335 for like really cheap a few years
Okay.
back. So
Okay.
that it's our weekend car, and it's like really putting in the work. So, but again, it's
Yeah.
it's like the RX-8. You have to put in the maintenance. You have to like do all
Yep.
the little
Yep.
BMW garbage, and you know, it'll treat you well if you spend a lot of money on it. It's kind of like an expensive girlfriend.
But worse.
Yeah, man. All right, I think we'll cap it off here, Drew. What are your closing thoughts, bro?
I'm gonna keep buying talents here. You should too.
I'm not buying anything. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for a month,
Yeah.
and then we'll take it from there. But the waiting part is really just I'm trying to get as much money as possible, right? So because
Yeah.
any
Build
value,
a cash
all the
pile.
stocks are good value now. I think. Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
All I know is someone at Seeking Alpha is gonna get a raise.
I sure hope so.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on anything else? Like, I guess we got the market stuff too, but yeah. Okay, fair enough. I think next time we'll do. We have definitely have to do housing. How are you?
Yes.
How are you about
Sure.
student loans? You up for doing an episode on that?
Yeah, I'd be up to that. I know I was actually a financial aid advisor for a while.
Nice. Oh, dude, there you go. Right. So like, it's
Yeah.
different here too. On Canada, it's a little bit more lenient, I'd say. But yeah, we're definitely
Yeah.
gonna do that. So guys, if you're tuning in, we're gonna do one on student loans. That was supposed to be this week, but like, you know, this whole market situation happened. Drew is gonna be a guy who comes, and like he's just a third guy. He's a third head on the dragon. Okay, so he'll be here, and I really did. You know, it's too bad that Sean couldn't make it for your first episode, but really
Yeah.
glad to have you, man. We
Glad-
will
glad-
catch you. Pardon?
I'm glad for the invite.
Oh, absolutely, dude, absolutely. But I guess next time we might not see the stash. So if you guys are
Maybe
here,
not.
take a good screenshot. Yeah, at least Drew will be out of the doghouse though.
Yep. See.
All right.
Let's see.
So we'll catch you guys later. You guys have a good day. Have a good lunch hour. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Peace.